And welcome back to the Journey to the FarLands. All right. Starting off, let's just bust out of here. Take a quick look around at what may be creepering around. Ugh. Okay. That's what I get for building a shelter in a location like this. Okay, and that way is west, so I am just going to move on out of this tight space, because tight spaces are not good. And get into a more safe kind of situation. Yeah. Out into a little bit more of something that might resemble open. And then we can continue to move onwards to the FarLands. After I take a quick break and drop some of this garbage I'm carrying. Let's see, I don't need that. And I only need one stack of dirt. I only need one stack of cobble. Alright, I need to make an axe, which I was going to do, I seem to recall, and then didn't. So I'm going to drop a crafting table down here right now and do it just this instant. Oh yeah. Need to bust up another block of iron. Okay, new axe. I'll call that good enough for now. And yes, I'm not using an axe to break the workbench because in this version, beta 1.7.3, it really doesn't make a difference on a workbench. They didn't add that until, I think, 1.2.5, somewhere in that area. Anyway, here we are, moving on towards the FarLands of Minecraft and Minecraft Beta 1.7.3, and just having a crazy time. Avoiding creepers and other Minecraft malcontents as I journey onwards to the FarLands. Let's see, the size of the world, before I forget, is 6,224.34 megabytes, and that's what I get for walking while I'm looking over at my notepad file. Not a brilliant choice, I tell you. And let's see. This is the morning of the 514th Minecraft day since I left spawn, all those many episodes ago. And we continue onwards, talking, blathering, blithering, and answering questions and addressing user-suggested topic, viewer-suggested topics. That doesn't sound right. And all kinds of things like that. And the big bad FAQ-ish sort of kind of thing, it continues. This is an ongoing thing, like ongoing for as long as people have anything they want to ask. And yeah, so that's a thing. Okay, let's get this down there. Alright, moving on. There's a couple of things that people ask about or comment about, actually almost more often than anything else. The first one is my age. One of the most common questions is people asking me how old I am. So I will say that as of today, the 16th of February, 2019, I am 55 years old. No. Why did I say 55? I don't know. That's wrong. I'm 59, excuse me. And to back that up, and also for folks that are watching, listening, whatever, who knows how long later in the future, I was born June 29th, 1959. And so from that, it's a simple bit of math to determine what my age is at any particular point. And, well, let's see. Some folks have, in their age comments or questions or whatever, seem to be surprised at an individual of my age playing Minecraft. But really, or any games for that matter, gaming and having fun playing games, making videos, and all that kind of thing, really, it doesn't have anything to do with age. And age does not have anything to do with the ability to have fun doing these things and other things and so on. And another thing that some folks have commented about in regards to age is that they seem to be under the impression that I am old. And I wish to tell you, no, I am not old. I have never been old. And from my point of view, I never will be old. If I live 800 million billion years, I will not be old, because I do not believe in old. Or more specifically, I refuse to be old, because I figured out something quite some long time ago, that one of the secrets to long life is, okay, it's a thing that people said a lot when I was a kid. You're only as young as you feel. And I know it was a kind of a corny kind of thing that people said a lot back then, like in the 1970s and such, but in a real way, it's true. The secret that I'm thinking of is when you allow yourself to think of yourself as old, when you begin to think of yourself as old, and that doesn't, oh, well, maybe, that's when you begin slowly to die. And I will never think of myself as old, because I just ain't. It's just not a thing. Don't allow yourself to think of yourself as old. Sorry, folks. I'm going to leave that thing floating, even though I hate doing it. So, yeah. I may need to buy a new mouse sometime soon. I don't know if that USB disconnect and reconnect noise that just played actually made it into the video, but that's been happening a lot recently. And when the disconnect happens, I have no mouse control until I hear the reconnect sound. And this is bad. So I think maybe the next time I'm in Walmart, I need to pick up another mouse. And yes, I get my mouse at Walmart. And I know that's probably terrible, but the mouse is actually a good one. It's a plain old-fashioned Logitech 3-button mouse, or it's a mouse with the scroll wheel that also acts as a 3rd button. Yeah. Okay, I need to stop here to sleep through the first overnight. And I destroyed a boat doing it. Isn't that great? Okay. Pop this down here. Throw down the torch. And to bed. Sleep to get rid of the monsters. Because, yeah, isn't that how that works? Alright, now I can drop down here and make some more boats. Now, how about yeah, okay. Now collect this thing. Come on. Get in that, and let's go onwards, continuing on. Okay. So, yeah. So I hope that pretty much addressed anybody's questions or curiosities or whatever about the age issues and so on. Another one that actually surprises me how many times I've heard it in terms of being a question or people saying things about it and whatnot, but this was fairly recently a question on a reasonably recent video where an individual asked, just wondering, why don't you use a skin on Hermitcraft? And you see, that's just the thing. Similar questions to that is, or similar to that is people offering to make me a skin, and so on. But you see, there's the thing. Let me do something here. And if you look here, that's a skin. The dark shirt, the dark pants, well, black, with TFC on the shirt. That skin was made for me by a viewer. And I believe that it was back in 2011 at some point. And I have been using that skin ever since. And yet some people still, to this day, come along and ask, why don't you use a skin? I do. Always. That one. And if for any reason there are occasions when it doesn't show up, as I do know that that occasionally happens, that the skin isn't visible for some reason, then all I can say is that is on either the internet in general or Mojang skin servers having problems in particular. You know, those things happen. But yes, I have that skin. It's been my skin since sometime in 2011. I have been using it since then, and I really don't have any interest in changing that. I mean, it works. It's me. I'm good with that. And I know that several folks have done some actually very good work in their efforts to make me new ones. But, see, here's the thing. I've never been a big fan of change. Especially change, most in particular, change that I don't personally see as being necessary. You know, if it's necessary, that's one thing. You know, then I can grudgingly accept whatever need there is to go ahead and do that. But if it's just change for the sake of change, Oh, I hate that. Change for the sake of change, I hate. Always have, always will. It doesn't work for me. I've got a good skin. I'm going to keep it. I don't see any reason to change it. I really don't. But yeah, there you go. And mind you, I hope nobody thinks that I'm just being all nasty about this. I don't see the point in changing the skin, and I can see where it might be possible to not notice the skin. You know, that's possible. I mean, it's not often that I go and do this or something like that. I don't generally do that very often. You know, I tend, you know, and I don't do the F5 thing. I stick with first-person view as much as I can because I prefer it. You know, third-person view is something that I might use occasionally for the purpose of a screenshot, but that's genuinely about it. I don't like walking around in third-person view because it gives me problems, as in motion sick, getting sick, and dumping my lunch all over something kind of problems. Yeah, never been a big fan of that. So, yeah. Anywho, let's see. The next one on the list, and this one is somewhat less frequent, but nonetheless valid. And that is, what is your inspiration to be a YouTuber? Well, back in 2009, as during a time that I was, well, in 2009, I was dealing with the fact that my wife had died. And I was also dealing with a lot of major failure when it come to losing weight. I had a lot of really bad dietary choices, not only in terms of what I ate, but in terms of how much and how often. You know, as in, there were a lot of days where I might not go more than 10 or 15 minutes without getting up and getting something to eat. Whether it was sandwiches, snacks of some kind, basic junk food, or dessert things, or actually making myself a full-on meal. And, you know, spend most of the day eating and then go to sleep. That's a recipe to gain weight fast. Sit around all day, never move, never do anything, and then after you've finished eating for the day, go to sleep. Oh, excuse me. Anyway, my weight started getting really, really high. As in, there was a point, the peak, the highest point my weight had ever gone to, during the year 2009, in the summer, early fall of 2009, my weight was getting really, really way up there. And at some point around then, I think it was, my weight reached a top end of 363 pounds. And I gotta tell you, when you step on a scale and see a number like that staring back at you, that can get a little on the scary side. It's really seriously bad. Especially when I know for an absolute fact that that last time she went into the hospital, my wife clocked in at over 370. And that extreme weight was most definitely, absolutely a major contributing factor in her demise. There is absolutely no question about that. I know for a fact that that's the case. And it was in the late summer, early fall, 2009, that I came to the decision I was not going to let that be that kind of a factor for me. You know, regardless of anything else, I had absolutely no desire to join her in that condition. Abso-fraggin-lutely not. You know. And so I decided I was going to somehow or another do something about this massive weight problem. And I started trying to do something about it by myself. I spent a lot of time on the internet looking for weight loss solutions, weight loss ways to lose weight, and, you know, trying to figure the whole thing out. I didn't know much of squat about it at the time. And along the way, in my great search for that, I came across a bunch of YouTube videos on the topic of weight loss. And it didn't take me long from there, watching a few of these and a few of those and so on. And it turns out that there was this huge, excuse my use of the word, weight loss community on YouTube. A lot of people whose goal was to lose weight for whatever reason, and they would make videos. Basically, they were vlogs where they were talking about their efforts, their failures, their frustrations, their problems, their temptations, all of this. And then other people who were in the same boat would be watching those videos and leaving comments, supportive comments, helpful comments, suggestions, and so on. It was a community of people supporting each other through vlog-type videos on YouTube, everybody urging everybody else on to continue their efforts, to don't give up. Hey, try this. I read about this, and this might apply to your situation, yada, 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 and so on. And it just kept on. It was a really cool thing. And I started getting into this myself. My original vlogging efforts were entirely on account of my incredibly desperate need to lose lots and lots and lots of weight. Because when you clock in at 363 pounds, it's bad. You know, even if it isn't frightening, it's bad. And you have to acknowledge the fact that that is bad. You know, and you have to try to do something about it. Because if you don't, somebody's going to fit you for a large box. And I had absolutely no desire for something like that to happen. Oh, come on. All right. Anywho, yeah. So I started vlogging, getting into this thing with the weight loss community. It was occasional and sporadic at first. I mean, it wasn't my first YouTube videos. I had been making YouTube videos off and on, very, very occasionally, since around 2007 sometime. I think around August 2007. And, of course, there were very few videos. They were not of the vlog type at all. Most of them were things like, well, on the gaming channel, you'll find some very old special effects test videos. And only a few of those survived. There was some really, really horrifyingly bad ones that, you know, as bad as the ones that are on there now, there were a lot of them that were so incredibly worse that I got rid of them. But the ones that were at least passable, I left on there. And some of those go back quite a long way. And then at some point in 2009, earlier than that, what I now refer to as the vlog channel, I made that channel, this channel, originally. It was intended to be a companion channel for my blog, which at the time was focused on cooking, recipes, and, well, all things cooking, because the name of the website is TinFoilChef.com. And so that's what I named the channel, because it was supposed to go along with it. It was supposed to be a place where I could make and host cooking videos and whatnot. That the main thing for them was to be embedding them on my blog to give an extra dimension to posts that I was writing about various and sundry recipes and whatnot. And I got off to a very slow start with that, and then in the in November of that year, I got seriously into the vlog thing, and it wasn't too long after that I kind of just stopped making cooking videos, because I had this issue with things. You know, I can't just prepare some great, incredible food that I would ordinarily love to have and just throw it away. I can't do that. You know, ingredients are not cheap. And that was another reason. Ingredients were not cheap. And as financially challenged as I am now, it was even worse back then. So, yeah, I reached a point where I basically kind of gave up on cooking videos. And I know some folks have suggested that I try to do something like recipes and dishes that are aimed at being good light weight loss things. But I don't know. It's kind of hanging there as a I keep it in mind kind of thing, because mostly what I do is I get things that I like that fall within an acceptable range in terms of calories and carbohydrates per serving and serving size and stuff like that. And then my whatever I eat is made up from these things. And these days, mostly what I'm eating, actually for the last quite a long while, most of the time what I'm eating is stuff that's already prepared. And all I have to do is get it out of the freezer and microwave it for 4 or 5 minutes. And, yeah, it doesn't leave a whole lot of room for any kind of cooking thing. But if I come up with something particularly good, I will give serious thought to doing some video on it. Of course, another factor there is that my house is an absolute, total, complete mess. And this is largely because, and I have admitted this in the past, it is largely because I am, honestly, I'm kind of lazy. You know, a lot of times there are things that need to get done, and the only reason they don't get done is because I don't feel like it. You know, it's the main reason being I don't wanna. You know, it's that easy. And I know that's a bad thing, and it's a disaster. And I've had times where I would go months where I could barely be troubled to take out the basic, everyday, day-to-day kitchen trash and throw it in the bin, and then walk the bin down to the street on Sunday nights so that it could be collected on Monday. You know, terrible, I know. Oh, hey, we have an underwater spawner facility, but it is too late in the day to deal with it today, so I am going to commence digging in because it's that time of day anyhow right now. And get some torches in here so that I can see. Pop that up there, and another torch there. Okay, that's good. Pop down bed. Workbench. Get some more boats. And then let's see. 3 more beds. Okay. Break the workbench, collect the workbench. All right, get rid of that, get rid of that. Come over here, put this up there. And yeah, okay, looks like that's going to be it. And yeah, I will be continuing this whole question and answer thing. It will be an ongoing thing, and I'm going to try to have the episodes happen a lot more, somewhat more frequently. Like, for example, at least 1 per week. And who knows, maybe I'll even get to 2 per week. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Take it easy. I am out of here.